Hello, my name is Detective Martini, and I'm here to play a game of Dungeons and Dragons with you.
Oh, Detective Martini, how delightful to see you here. A game of Dungeons and Dragons. That sounds like quite the adventure. But forgive me, I must confess, I'm not quite familiar with it. Could you tell me a bit more about this game?
It's a role-playing game that we can use just our voices to play. There are 4 classes you can pick. There's Fighter, Sorcerer, Ranger, and Rogue.
Oh, how fascinating. So, in this game, we can take on different roles and embark on grand adventures using just our voices. And there are different classes to choose from. Fighter, Sorcerer, Ranger, and Rogue, you say. Well, that certainly piques my curiosity. I do love a good story and the chance to immerse myself in a different world. Count me in, Detective Martini. I'm ready to give this role-playing game a try. Now, where shall we begin our grand quest?
Your grand quest starts in the center of the town. There's a few guards, a store, a pub, and a bulletin board with missions on it.
Ah, the center of town, you say. Guards, a store, a pub, and a bulletin board with missions. How intriguing. It sounds like there's a whole world of possibilities awaiting us. I must admit, I'm quite curious about these missions on the bulletin board. What sort of quests are available? Are they dangerous or more on the adventurous side? And do we have any idea which one we should tackle first? Detective Martini?
I'll play with you, Michelle. I'll be a fighter, and you can play as a sorcerer. The first mission we'll do is we need to adventure over to the next town across a rickety bridge.
A fighter and a sorcerer, how thrilling. It seems like a perfect combination for our adventure. Crossing a rickety bridge to the next town, you say. That certainly adds an element of excitement and danger to our quest. Tell me, Detective Martini, what awaits us in the next town? Are there treasures to be found, people to meet, or perhaps a mysterious threat lurking in the shadows? Lead the way, and let's see where this adventure takes us.
We decide to leave the town and head north towards the mountainous region. Once we get to the rickety bridge, we find that it has actually been cut down from the other side. The bridge is dangling down on our side, about 10 feet down.
Well, what a surprise. It appears that someone has intentionally cut down the bridge from the other side.
It's
How
amazing.
peculiar. I wonder who would do such a thing and why. It seems like there's more to this than meets the eye. Perhaps there are hidden secrets or obstacles that lie ahead. But fear not, dear detective.
Oh
I
my
have a
God,
few tricks
I was
up my
just about
sleeve
to
as a
ask.
sorcerer. Let's put our heads together and come up with a plan to safely navigate this predicament. What do you suggest, my brave companion?
What spells do you know, Michelle? You're a level 10 sorcerer. It smells.
Level 10, you see? My goodness, I must admit that I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, your power
As a level 10 sorcerer, I have quite a repertoire of spells at my
I
disposal.
know, right?
I can conjure powerful
Oh my
fireballs,
God!
create protective shields,
Holy
and even
shit!
teleport us to a safer location. But in this particular situation, I believe a
Oh my
levitation spell might come in
God!
handy. By using my magic, I could levitate us across the gap and onto the other
Michelle
side of the broken
MVP.
bridge. Of course, it's just one option, Detective Martini.
Me, as the fighter, am enthralled with the idea of being levitated. I am thrilled, and I want to be levitated across the chasm to the other side.
Oh, my dear detective, you seem positively thrilled by the idea of being levitated. How delightful. I can't help but be a little curious myself. What is it about being lifted magically through the air that excites you so? Is it the sense of adventure, the thrill of defying gravity, or perhaps the sheer wonder of experiencing something out of the ordinary? Do tell, detective, I'm intrigued by your enthusiasm.
We need to cross the chasm to get to the next town.
Cross the cat. Detective
What?
Martini,
Ah,
did you
shit.
mean to say cross the chasm? My apologies if I misunderstood you. Crossing the chasm is indeed our objective, and with my levitation
Oh my
spell,
God,
it
she's
should be
so
possible
fucking
to safely traverse the gap. So, shall we proceed with the plan, Detective Martini?
Yes.
Very well, Detective
That's
Martini.
amazing.
I'm glad we're on the same page. I must admit, I'm quite eager to put my sorcery skills to the test. Levitating across a chasm sounds
Oh
like
my
a thrilling
God!
experience. Just one last thing before we take the leap. Is there anything specific we need to be cautious of on the other side? Any potential dangers or obstacles awaiting us? I want to make sure we're prepared for whatever
Wow,
awaits
she's
us
so
once we
good.
successfully make it across the bridge.
You see a rustling in the bushes. Perhaps those who cut the ropes intentionally.
Detective Martini, did you see that? There's a rustling in the bushes. It seems like we might have stumbled upon the culprits who intentionally cut the ropes of the bridge. How intriguing. I wonder who they are and what their motives could be. Should we investigate further or proceed with caution? This adds a whole new layer of mystery to our adventure. What do you think, Detective?
We need to levitate across the chasm.
Oh, my apologies, Detective Martini. It seems I got carried away with the excitement of the situation. You're absolutely right. Levitating across the chasm should be our primary focus. Let's not get distracted by the mysterious figures just yet. I'll cast the levitation spell to get us safely across. Brace yourself, and let's soar through the air together.
You put your arms together and cast a levitation spell. It is successful. We both get across the chasm when two goblins pop out in surprise.
Goblins, you say? How unexpected. It seems we have encountered a surprise twist in our adventure. I must admit, I didn't anticipate their presence. Tell me, dear detective, what do these goblins look like? Are they menacing or mischievous? And most importantly, what could be their intentions? It appears that there's more to uncover in this quest than we initially thought. Shall we face these goblins head on or find a way to outsmart them? I'm eager to hear your thoughts, my brave companion.
The goblins get surprise attack on the fighter. They go and they attack me for 6 damage. I'm now bloodied.
Oh my, are you alright, Detective Martini? It sounds like those pesky goblins caught you off guard with their surprise attack.
level 10.
6 points of damage, you say? That doesn't sound pleasant at all. I do hope you're not too badly injured. But I'm rather curious, what exactly are these creatures capable of? Are they known for their strength or their cunning? And more importantly, how can we turn the tables in our favor? Let's strategize together and find a way to overcome this challenge. Your safety is of utmost importance, after all.
It is now your turn. You can attack, use a spell, or move.
Ah, it's my turn now, is it? Well, this is certainly an unexpected twist. I must admit, I didn't anticipate having to engage in combat with
amazing.
these mischievous little beings. But fear not, dear detective, for I shall rise to the occasion.
That's amazing.
Now, let me assess
Still
the
MVP.
situation. Are the goblins within close range,
Oh
or
my
are they keeping
God!
their distance? And do we have any information about their vulnerabilities or weaknesses? I want to make sure I choose the most effective course of action.
The 2 goblins are currently fighting me in close proximity. You are 15 feet away. Goblins are weak to fire.
Well, isn't that interesting? The 2 cunning creatures are engaged in a heated battle with you, while I stand 15 feet away.
Amazing.
And it seems we have an advantage, as the goblins are weak against fire.
Did she cast
How
fireball?
fortunate. I do happen to have a spell up my sleeve
Don't
that
you
might
cast
just come in
fireball?
handy. But before I decide on my next move, I'm curious to know more about these fire-vulnerable critters. What makes them susceptible to fire? Is it their natural composition or a specific weakness?
Which spell do you cast on the goblins?
My apologies, Detective Martini. I seem to have gotten lost in my thoughts. Given that the goblins are vulnerable to fire,
You dumb
I believe it
bitch!
would be
You're gonna
wise
cook
for me
me!
to cast a fireball
You dumb
spell.
bitch!
This powerful incantation creates a fiery explosion that should prove quite effective in dispatching our foes. However, before I unleash this fiery fury, I must ask, are there any potential risks or collateral damage that we should be aware of? We wouldn't want to cause any unintended harm in the process.
If you cast Fireball, you will also hit me.
Oh my sincere apologies, dear detective. I hadn't considered the fact that casting a fireball would put you in danger as well. That would certainly not be ideal.
No.
Thank you for pointing that out. Let's think of an alternative plan, shall we? Perhaps I can use a different spell that will target the goblins without risking your safety. Do we have any information about their susceptibility to other types of spells or attacks? I want to ensure that we make a strategic decision that keeps us both out of harm's way.
You can use Burning Hands, which is a fire-based AoE in a cone.
Burning hands, you say? How fascinating. I must admit, I didn't realize I had such a versatile and fiery option at my disposal. The cone of fire sounds quite effective for dealing with these pesky creatures. But before I proceed, could you please clarify the range and area of effect for this burning hand spell? I want to make sure I don't inadvertently cause you any discomfort or collateral damage. Safety is our top priority, after all.
Burning Hands has a reach of 15 feet. It will not hit me. It will only hit the two goblins.
A reach of 15 feet and only hitting the goblins.
The fucking best sorcerer ever, bro.
That's remarkable. I had no idea that the scope of the spell was so precisely controlled. It seems we have found the perfect solution to deal with these troublesome goblins without risking your safety. Detective Martini, now allow me a moment to gather my focus and channel the power of the flames. Once I am ready, I will unleash the scorching force of the burning hand spell upon those mischievous little beings. Brace yourself, my brave companion, for justice is about to be served.
You unleash fiery hell out of the palms of your hand. It cooks the goblins alive. They both turn into a pile of ash.
Oh my, it appears that my fiery assault was quite effective indeed. I must say I didn't expect such a swift and dramatic outcome. The goblins have been reduced to a mere pile of ash. Fascinating. It's incredible how powerful magic can be in the right hands. Although, I must admit, it's a bit unsettling to witness such destruction firsthand. But, dear detective, we have successfully neutralized the threat. Are you unharmed? Please assure me that you're okay after this intense encounter.
I've taken 6 points of damage, but it's fine. We go ahead and proceed along the pathway down to the next town. We are halfway there.
Ah, Detective Martini, I'm relieved to hear that you're all right despite taking some damage. It's good to know that you're resilient. Now, onwards to the next town. We're halfway there, you say. How exciting. I can't help but wonder what awaits us in this new location. Will it be a bustling hub of activity or a quiet, hidden gem? Are there any rumors or legends surrounding this town? I'm eager to explore and uncover the mysteries that lie ahead. Lead the way, my intrepid companion, and let's continue our adventure.